But in the early days, it would be me calling up hotels, booking rooms as best I could. But
by yourself?
By myself,
what?
Right.
You're amazing.
Well, you know, it's not too, you know, persistence pays off,
It's what
right?
you learn from construction management.
Right. Actually, and those project management skills in terms of organizing an event, and, you know, in the construction industry, you're looking after, say, you know, 15, 20 subcontractors or vendors, and it's the same expertise or principles that you put into place for organizing an event. It's just a different environment. So,
okay.
But thank goodness I have this wonderful assistant now, program manager, who can help do all that work for me, which really, really helps. But,
so do you take groups around yourself personally?
It depends on the group, yeah. So the cycling I still do, simply because I really enjoy it.
There's this shirt.
And there's our shirt there.
Great.
So, yeah,
awesome.
yeah. And so Taiwan is, it's become more and more well known, but in terms of the road cycling in Taiwan, it would be one of the best destinations in the world, simply because it's a small...
In the world?
In the world. We've had clients coming here who have cycled all through Europe, and they'll come to Taiwan and we'll do a tour for them, and particularly central Taiwan with Sun Moon Lake and Qingjing and the Wuling Peak, and either down to Taroko Gorge or come down to somewhere like Wuling Nongchang or Yilan with the Jiaoxi and the hot springs.
Yeah.
You know, it's on par with anything they've done, just because you know, you can be at sea level in the morning and you can be at 3,000 meters in the afternoon. So there's dramatic change of scenery and environment, and vice versa as you come down. You know, it's quite exciting. So.
Wow.
So Taiwan's becoming more and more well known, and particularly, you know, you've got companies like Giant Hair and Merida and these other companies, and the Taiwan Tourism Bureau and all these other people helping promote the country. But it's fantastic cycling, and the drivers are courteous here, whereas even say somewhere like Hong Kong, which was one of our major markets, you know, as you would know, the roads are a lot narrower, and it's a much smaller. Busier city.
Yes.
So a lot of our clients, you know, in Hong Kong, they'll be up at 4 or 5 in the morning. Simply, well, one, they have to work, and two, just to beat the traffic and the chaos of that city. But you know, here you can go out any time of the day up in Yamingsan.
Right, and with the metro system.
With the metro system, very accessible. Right.
Wow, I had no idea that our terrain are so attractive to the world. It's in comparison.
It's fantastic. So we'll have groups of, you know, groups of colleagues or friends, and they'll come back year after year for an annual tour, and we take them around different parts of Taiwan.
So you have some fixed clients who are your regular customers.
I would say for our road cycling adventures, it's probably 70% repeat clients.
Great.
Whether they be groups of mates or friends or clubs, cycling clubs or triathlon clubs or whatnot.
You know how to do
come
business.
back year and year again. I try, I try. But actually, you know, Taiwan sells itself. It's, you know, we arrange the framework with the accommodation and the transport and the support, but you know, Taiwan's a very beautiful country and it's underrated. So I think that's half the attraction as well. When people come to Taiwan, they're perhaps not expecting, you know, Taiwan, people think of the industry and the computer scene and the IT scene and the busy cities, so, which of course exists. But as soon as you get them away from that, I think it's beyond their expectations.
Really?
And so that's what really excites people to want to come back again to Taiwan.
Now, I've wondered if you take these biking tours around the island, you yourself must have explored the whole place. Now, how do you, from your website, it seems like you've discovered some routes or some trails that are out of the ordinary. And is that what you do? You actually go and kind of like explore and be adventuresome to discover some routes that will really be attractive to people, foreigners, so that they're not, you don't you don't bring a tour so that they're barged with all these tourists. Right. You know, but it's like out of traffic, out of the ordinary crowds, and then for them to see the real beauty, the kind of nature that isn't often taken by other tours probably.
Exactly. And so, you know, a lot of the clients, when they come to Taiwan for a cycling tour, people with busy jobs back in, you know, wherever, Hong Kong or Singapore or around Asia. So, you know, it's a combination of wanting, you know, to have a break from work, to escape that, that busy lifestyle they have, and also enjoy the outdoors. So, but yeah, we take big pride in only using locations that, for the cycling, for example, minimal traffic and the best scenery, and also variety in terrain. I mean, you know, in terms of some flat riding and some rolling hills and some mountains, and it makes it interesting. And also with good accommodation and good food, and being able to present that in a package. And being a foreigner, you know, you can relate to what other foreigners would like if they come to Taiwan or looking for a cycling adventure. So, and I think, to be honest, I think it probably differs somewhat to what the, say, a local Taiwanese would expect or enjoy.
Yeah.
So we really, you know, and our key is customizing tours for these experiences. Right.
My feeling is that I think in the last 30 or 40 years, that's when Taiwanese people are getting more active and getting outdoors more.
Right.
You know, doing more of the outdoor activities and all that, because I'm sure there are companies who come to you because they want to get their employees out of the office environment and experience nature, but not only that, kind of build up their self-confidence. Now, you do that too, right?
Right, sure.
So in this package that you do, you also have these self-confidence building...
Team building.
Team building.
Right.
Okay. As well as kids too, right?
Right. So
what are those like?
So for the corporate team building clients, we get a whole range. It can be a company that's already here and they're doing a conference or whatever, and they just simply want to get out of the hotel. So it can be something simple like taking them hiking in Yameng-san and finishing with a hot spring and a dinner, something that simple. Or it can be a company and they want more active participation. So something like the Amazing Race or river tracing or
But you design this all yourself.
So we design these programs and put them together and go out and find these locations. Be easy. It's a lot of fun though. You know.
Really?
So yeah, you know, so I guess when I first came to Taiwan, I spent the first 2 or 3, and particularly starting this business, spent the first 2 or 3 years just exploring Taiwan.
Oh, is that
and
right?
As a client would come to me, they'll say, "Hey Cam, we're interested in doing this and this and this," and you know, I would sit down and brainstorm some ideas. And you know, and I'd highlight maybe 2 or 3 areas that I think would be suitable for that from my previous experience. And then in the early days, I'd go and visit these areas and what we call recce, explore these areas and put the program together. And then I'd go back to the client and say, "Here's a fantastic area. This is what we've got. Here's some pictures. What do you think?"
And they usually go with it, right?
And they usually go with it, or they tweak it slightly or customize it. And so now, having done this for 8-9 years, you know, I've got a great database of Taiwan and pretty much explored all of Taiwan. And so now a client can come to us and you know, we have a database of great areas for them to explore.
Wow. So, what about the kids? Now you say you only do it with international schools?
Yeah, so our youth programs are customized for the international schools, whether they're here in Taiwan or overseas. And so a lot of these...
Overseas? Wait, what do you mean? You bring them overseas?
It'll be a school. So a lot of these international schools, as part of their curriculum, they'll do some overseas travel experience, whereas they take the overseas...
And you're the guide?
And so we're the local operator for them. And so the school will come to us and say, you know, "Hey, we've got, you know, 50 kids, 100 kids in a particular grade, and we're looking to do..." Schools are quite specific in terms of what they're doing, because they'll usually have a 5 or 6 year curriculum for the grades. And you know, there might be the grade 9, and in grade 9 they step it up and do some outdoor adventure. And so they'll come to us and say, "Cam, we want to do, an outdoor experience in the outdoors. We'd like to learn these skills, learn how to teach the kids how to cook on a gas stove and then put up a tent. Or whatever.
Sorry, so you're talking about international schools from abroad who want to make an overseas trip in Taiwan.
Correct.
Oh, I see.
So that can be anything from, if they're coming from overseas, it usually be a week-long program. So at the moment, for example, we're just putting a program together for an international school from Korea. Yeah. And they want to bring over 80 students plus some facilities. 80. So it's a good-sized group.
How many volunteers? No, not volunteers. Freelance workers that you need for a team of 80.
So 80 is too big a group to manage as a whole. So what we do, we'd break it down into expedition groups or so. So usually about 12 students. And within that, the school would provide one of their own teachers or staff to help with the behavioral issues and just control the students a bit and nighttime duty.
Those behavioral issues.
Right, and then we provide the facilitator to actually lead the program. So it's usually for youth programs, it would be a ratio of 12 students to 2 adults, 2 to 3 adults.
Yeah.
And so for a group of 80, we'd have 6-7 facilitators, a program leader, have a logistics coordinator, and then depending on the activities, if there's say high ropes involved, then we'd have say 2 to 3 high rope specialists who help us set up the abseils and rappels. So
I'm bad at math, so that
quite a big team. So it could be a team of 10 to 15 from our side, and they'd have 80 students and maybe another 12 staff. So it'll be 100 plus, right? So
where do you get these people?
Well, Taiwan is. Has a resource of outdoor people and there's a lot of people. It's getting there. It's building up. So have a number of contacts, both local Taiwanese and foreigners who have good experience in the outdoors and are very safety conscious or speak English and Chinese.
Chinese.
So sometimes, we present the programs in English or present them in Chinese, depending what the client wants. So it's just basically have a base of good people that we use, and when we get an inquiry, we put our team together, depending on the activities and location. So.
Well, hey, you're doing good. You're doing very good.
It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of fun. Real passion for it and enjoy it. And,
that is great. Wow.
Being able to combine, love of the outdoors with the business is fantastic.
Wow. Yeah. And now this is one last question that I always ask my guests.
Right.
And that is, what would be that sound that you miss if you were to leave Taiwan? What would be that one sound that you would miss?
I think, the one sound that sticks with me would be summertime in Taiwan. On a beautiful blue sky, hot day, and whether you're hiking or riding your bike up a hill, and just the noise of the forest, and particularly the cicadas. And I'm sure in summertime here, they're very loud, and they're singing, and their pitch comes and goes, and it's just this companion, in your journey wherever you're going. So I think that and the birds, or a waterfall. So it's just be the sound of Taiwan nature and the outdoors would definitely.
That just somehow is not the same as outdoors in any other country around the world.
Yeah, I don't know. The cicadas seem to be very loud here. Yeah, for some reason, or they just love to. They're happy, love to sing as well. So.
And it seems like the hotter it gets, the louder they get.
Exactly.
Doesn't it?
Yeah. And maybe the slower we get, so we have to listen to them more. I'm not sure.
All right. Well, hey, it was a lot of fun talking with you, Cam.
Absolutely.
Good luck with everything.
Thank you very much.
Yeah, I'd say bring nature to all the immobile Taiwanese people, because I think Taiwanese people need to get out a lot more.
They are, and they're doing it more and more, for sure, which is fantastic to see, because Taiwan's a fantastic country, and it's got a lot to offer, so it's really great to see.
All right.
Thank you.
Okay. Thank you for watching, people. I'm Shirley.